this business model to make sure we covering our bases. We didn't do this format. I take the branding out of the water. We gotta watch him. That's a marine. Good to go. That's why I check the season. That's how you. Because of the cost and the logistics. Where? You crazy. You gotta go build a new terminal, you gotta go build a run. So what we going to say now? If them ask the question, what we say?
Virgin Islands, through the BVI Airports Authority, has invited the public to participate in a survey to gather feedback on the planned expansion of the Terence B. Lettsome International Airport. This input will be crucial in developing the comprehensive business case that the government is seeking for the first time to guide the project. The business case will examine the expansion's economic viability, costs and benefits, potential revenue, value for money, and alignment with the territory's economic and tourism strategies. It will also help determine the best financial model to be used for the expansion. The public is urged to stay informed and engage as the government embarks on this transformative journey for the airport. The Airports Council International will also be hosting Airport Day in the Virgin Islands on July 9th, which will provide an opportunity to discuss how this event relates to the airport expansion plans. Tonight, my guests are here to bring more awareness about the strategy for the airport expansion and answer any of your questions. For the Department of Information and Public Relations, I'm your host, Deputy Chief Information Officer, Nikita Turnbull. To speak more about the strategy for the airport expansion and Airport Day 2024, we have with us in studio Minister for Communications and Works, Honorable Kai Reimer, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Communication and Works, Mrs. Elvia Smith-Maduru, Managing Director for BVI Airports Authority, Mr. Kurt Manal, Director of Special Projects, BVI Airports Authority, Mr. Clive Smith. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
Very well. Good.
So now to begin, I'll just give the minister a moment to give an opening statement about the project.
Thank you, Ms. Turnbull. I say good evening to the listening and viewing public this evening who are tuned in to get an update as to what is happening with the airport, the Terence B. Lettsome International Airport. Persons might ask, why are we here? This has been spoken of since about 2008. And I know as recent as 2012, we've been discussing the airport expansion. About a year ago, June 1st, 2023, with the inaugural nonstop flight, the Premier, the Honorable Natalia Whitley, publicly stated that we need to expand the runway. And he gave me that mandate to make sure it's done. So we formed a team that would be discussing the airport expansion. And, we did a meeting with the stakeholders, a visioning meeting, and for us to plan the way forward for the airport. Now, it's nothing new. We are not trying to reinvent the wheel. But after that, we decided that, we would go and do an RFP to do a Green Book business case. And this is what the UK requires for best practice in terms of, any major projects. And this falls in line with the protocols for effective financial management. This was signed April 23rd, 2012. And, I took a team to the UK to discuss this airport expansion. And it was discussed and agreed that we need to conduct this Green Book business case. So upon doing the RFP, KPMG, the company, they were awarded the contract to conduct this exercise. So we are now in the process of doing a strategic outline case, and we have done a survey pertaining to the expansion and what persons feedback. So today we are coming to the public to discuss some of the questions that they may have. I know quite a lot of questions came in. But we are excited with this exercise, and hopefully we can get it done as we're hoping to get it done, do whatever it takes to get it done correct this time. And, coming out of this business case, we would understand what the economic case is, what the financial case is. And, it plays right into a tourism product. For years, we've seen, and post-hurricanes, post-COVID, we are seeing that the Caribbean is desired. The BVI, we are one of the shortest runways left in the region. And I think it hasn't been any major development in the last 10, 15, 20 years in terms of hotels. And the benefit of having an expanded runway airport, is to have easier airlift into the territory. And that is something that we need to work on. I mean, we see around the Caribbean, other airports, they are 7,000 and more, 6,000 and more. The BVI, we are still at 4,600. Now, we see how important and the destination is for persons. We've seen with the nonstop flight, the American Airlines flight. They started out at 1 flight per day. Now they are up to 5 flights per day on certain days. So it shows that there is a demand for this destination, and we must facilitate and make sure we have the resources, we have the right infrastructure in place to welcome these people to our territory. And I know persons may ask about the infrastructure, as I mentioned, that even the roads and the water and the hospitals and so forth. I know we are working on getting a loan so that we can fix our road infrastructure. The Premier would speak a bit more on that. We sent out the RFP to get this loan, and it should be coming to cabinet soon, because we need to fix our road infrastructure, make sure water infrastructure is up to par, and then you will see the development of our territory. So I'm happy to be here. We are here to answer any questions pertaining to the airport expansion, and to also speak about Airport Day that would be happening on the 9th. And that would be next week. The director, I'm sure, would speak more about that. It's quite something that we should be excited about, being a part of the ACI. So the director would speak more on that. But it's good to be here and to get feedback from the public as to this airport expansion.
Thank you so
project.
much, Minister. So I'll go to the PS. PS Smith Maduro, tell us why it's important for persons to participate in the survey exercise.
Thank you, Nikita. As the minister mentioned, when we went to the UK, they, gave us the template that we should use, which is to follow the HM Treasury Green Book 5-case model, which requires us to develop a business case for the project. And part of the business case requires a strategic case, an economic case, a financial case, a commercial case, and a management case. And at every stage, it requires community and public engagement. And so today we also want to let the public know that we have not made any decisions one way or the other on what the final outcome or the final design of the airport will be. What we have decided is that we will expand, and we will expand, moving us from what we currently have, which is a 3C airport, to a 4C airport. And I will let my colleagues, the director and Mr. Smith, explain a little bit more about the difference between a 3C and a 4C. But we are required to do public engagement, and this is what we have sought to do with the surveys that we have sent out across the various industries. And we want to thank those persons who actually took the time to give us feedback. And we encourage persons to send your input in. We welcome all comments. We want to hear from you what it is that you would like to see, how you would like to see the airport expanded and developed. In an ideal world, utopia, what would be your pie in the sky wish dream? Now, we're not saying that we'll be able to fulfill all of that, but as we gather information, it helps us to begin to understand what the various needs across the various sectors, including the general public, what those are, and how we shape the project based on the needs. So this is why we're here today, to encourage the public engagement, and for persons to don't be shy about your comments and be shy about what you think about the project, because this is exactly what will help us to develop the final product going forward.
So the final product, the objective of the survey and the information, how will it be used to steer the project?
Well, along with the forecasting data and the tourism data that we are still also working on, we will use that information to feed into what is ultimately designed, what the ultimate decisions are. Is it that the general public, for instance, is interested in direct access from the BVI to the US, and what parts of the US are the most popular routes, whether it's the East Coast, whether it's the West Coast, or the Midwest? Is it that there's an interest for direct access from BVI to Canada or BVI to parts of Europe? This is the kind of information we want. Is it that, you want to be able to have early morning flights? Is it beneficial for an overnight flight? This is a kind of information that we would like to hear. As it is now, as the minister said, when American Airlines started, they only had, I think, one flight, and now they are up to about 3 flights in, and then they have indicated moving to 5 flights on certain particular days. But one of the challenge is that because of the shortness of the runway, they can't maximize those flights with full payloads. And so sometimes you find that person bags are left behind, or persons have to be taken off and put on a later flight, or another flight has to be added to accommodate bags. These are the kind of things we want to hear in terms of the experiences so far and how it affects persons and what would be ideal for them, in terms of getting maximum benefit out of the extended airport facilities.
So the dialogue to expand the airport has spanned many administrations, as the minister alluded to before. How has the information gathered before influenced the information needed for the business case?
Well,
Any one of you, Mr. Manel.
All the information that we have before, all the studies, all the tests of the seabed will be used in determining the way forward with the runway. So it's not that we're throwing what we did and we're not using it. It will absolutely be used to help us to design the runway, the embankment, the culvert that goes under the runway, etc. So it's being used. Right now what we're doing is we're, like the PS said, in line with the 5K's business model. We're proving the argument for change, and once we prove the argument for change, then we go into actual cost analysis to determine what the length is, so that we can understand what the return on investment for the project would be. So everything will be used, and what needs to be updated will be updated.
Okay, that's good to hear. So persons have been inquiring and mentioning ANIGAD as an option for the airport. Has this been considered?
ANIGAD obviously has the benefit of being flat. It has the benefit of giving you could give you a much longer runway on flat surface instead of filling in the seabed. But the disadvantage it has, one of the biggest disadvantages, is the logistics of getting people back into the capital. Studies have been done on this, and it was concluded that Beef Island is still the best place to extend the runway.
Okay, well, that's good to know, to get that out, and hopefully persons know, hearing that they will know, well, Beef Island is the best option. So the Virgin Islands is also hosting the Airport Council International ACI Airport Day 2024. Explain to us what the ACI body is, what is expected of the Virgin Islands as a host of Airport Day, including what is to be expected.
Yes, thank you for that. So ACI is the Airports Council International. the BVI Airports Authority became a member of Airports Council International in 2018-2019, actually led by Mr. Smith here. Because of COVID, we were not able to be fully participative. But following 2021-2022, we became extremely active to a point where we actually became a member of the ACI Latin America Caribbean board. ACI Latin America Caribbean is the region to which we belong. ACI has 5 regions. Just to put it in perspective, ACI actually has 861 members that run more than 2,000 airports in 169 countries, one of them being the BVI. Most recently, given our active participation, we requested to have, or we offered to have, the ACI Airport Day here in the BVI. The intention of the ACI Airport Day is really to expose more than just the destination, but to expose the capacity of the BVI Airports Authority and to bring together experts to discuss a relevant agenda in the BVI, agenda that is particularly relevant given how we are embarking on the development of the airport and the development of the business case. So you'll see experts, both local, regional, and international, speaking about air service development, airport development and management, operational challenges, and exploiting the benefits of general aviation. Because you may know that in the BVI, our general aviation traffic, which is essentially those private jets, they account for about 40% of our traffic. And it's something that we want to fully maximize on. And even as we embark on the airport development, that will play a key role as we look at the all-encompassing approach to developing the airport moving forward.
Nice, thank you. And we're talking about Airport Day and the strategy for the airport expansion. If you're just tuning in on ZBVI or you're watching on our Facebook page, you'll soon have an opportunity to call in or put your questions in our comments section. You can call in at 284-468-2787 to ask your questions. But for right now, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Kishan Cupid Brathwaite, and I am the Public Service Transformation Manager here to tell you 5 fast facts about public service transformation. Fact number 1. Public service transformation is a public service-wide strategy being used to systematically transform the public service in 4 priority areas. Those areas are 1. Digital transformation, 2. Customer service, 3. Good governance, and 4. Human resources management / public administration. Fact number 2. Several transformation initiatives have taken place over the past 20 years. The present Public Service Transformation Program was launched in 2017. Fact number 3. Some examples of initiatives that were carried out under the Public Service Transformation Program are the launch of the Standard Integrated Government Tax Administration System, or SIGTAS 3.0, the Virgin Islands Compensation Review and Salary Conversion, and the Smart Schools Initiative. Fact number 4. As Public Service Transformation Manager, I oversee the management, execution, monitoring, evaluation, and reporting of the Public Service Transformation Program. I provide support and guidance to ministries while ensuring alignment with the government's policies and objectives. Fact number 5. Public service transformation is ongoing. This means that the public service is always transforming and always evolving to the newest standard of good governance by targeting our 4 priority areas. I am Kishan Cupid Brathwaite, and this has been 5 fast facts about public service transformation.
Did you know that one of the best ways to be ready for all kinds of emergencies is also completely free? Hi, I'm Crystal Kanyak-Abel, Information and Education Manager with the Department of Disaster Management, with 5 tips you can use to help create an emergency plan that fits your life. 1. Know your risks. The first step to creating an emergency plan is to know what hazards you face. Here in the Virgin Islands, all families should know what to do in the event of a major storm, earthquake, flood, fire, and tsunami. Remember, location matters. If you're on the coast, have a storm surge plan. If you live on a steep slope, consider what you should do in the event of a landslide. You get the idea. 2, keep it simple. No need to reinvent the wheel. You can rely on existing templates when creating your plan. We even have some templates for families, schools, and businesses on our website, www.bviddm.com. Just remember, you know your situation best, so be sure to adapt any template with relevant details. 3, involve everyone. Your entire household needs to be included in your plan. That means kids and pets too. Some family members may have special needs, so consider medical and dietary needs, mobility or language challenges, and other factors that make your family unique. You can assign different tasks to different family members, just make sure everyone knows their role. 4, know how you'll stay informed. Plan for how you will receive emergency information. You can rely on the BVI DDM app, but only if you download it before a hazard threatens. Portable AM/FM radio is another great option. Just remember to keep spare batteries on hand. 5, finally, practice your plan. Test your plan as a family before a disaster strikes. Going through the motions of what to do, where to go, and who to call will give you confidence that you have a great plan, and it will allow you to make improvements now so you'll be better prepared in a real emergency. I am Crystal Kanyak-Abel with the Department of Disaster Management. Thanks for watching. For more tips to help you prepare, survive, and restore, please visit the DDM's website, www.bviddm.com, or find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
This is GIS Preview, connecting you to your government.
It's a pleasure to be here at the Craft Alive Market, here with my team from the Ministry of Communications and Works, and we are just simply highlighting some of the infrastructure that is done within the ministry for us to foster economic growth within our community. So around us you will see various booths and various vendors. Small businesses we know is a big driver into any economy, and we are the facilitator for that infrastructure, and we continue to do that for our beautiful Virgin Islands.
This was a GIS Preview. For this and other government news and programs, connect with us on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter at BVI Government, and on Instagram at GIS BVI.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're tuned into Public Eye. Today we are speaking about the strategy for the airport expansion. I have with me Minister for Communications and Works, Honorable Kai Reimer, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Communications and Works, Mrs. Elvia Smith-Maduru, Managing Director for BVI Airports Authority, Mr. Kirk Manal, and Director of Special Projects, BVI Airport Authority, Mr. Clive Smith. We will soon open the lines for questions for our listening audience. The number to call is 468-2787. And for our viewers on Facebook, you can write your comments or questions in the comments section. As we continue the discussion, Mrs. Smith-Maduru, the Ministry of Communications and Works, in collaboration with the BVI Airports Authority, tailored surveys to the general public, the public service, and the business community for feedback for the business case towards the airport expansion. How has the feedback been so far regarding the questions, and will there be other opportunities for the public to input and make suggestions? To give input and make suggestions.
Thank you, Nikita. The survey, the response from the general public has been good so far. We've had in excess of 250 responses thus far, and literally the day we launched it, it seemed like the website just blew up.
Crashed. All the responses.
with responses just coming in, which was very, very good. And this will not be the only opportunity for persons to give their input. As I said, at every stage, we will have engagement with the general public and with the various industry and partner stakeholders. As we move into the outline business case, we will come back and we will engage again. But certainly, we do encourage persons to continue to send your feedback, send your input in, so we can see what the public is thinking regarding the project. We have been and we are being very deliberate to ensure that we do conduct the various public consultation and stakeholder engagements. So, as I mentioned, this will not be the only opportunity. Persons will have other opportunities as we go along and as we move the project forward. We will be sure to build in. It's actually part of the plan. Public engagement and consultation is built in at every stage.
So remind us, where can persons take the survey or participate in a survey exercise?
Well, we've sent out to various stakeholders. So there was a specific link. If you go on the government webpage, public officers will see surveys. The surveys, they're geared to those. We have shared the survey with all our tourism industry partners. We sent them directly to their emails, and we have also distributed it among the trade department and the BVI chambers, hotel and chambers, commerce of chambers, and so they have also sent it out to their members. So we have used all our networks to really get the survey out. So persons can either go to the government website or the various businesses that are members of the chambers. They can get it from there or the Department of Trade.
Okay, good. And for persons that aren't aware, the government's Facebook website is bvi.gov.vg. And for ease of reference, I'll have the team add the link in the comment section. So a steering committee was formed for the initiative of the airport expansion. What agencies or title of persons are part of that committee?
So the steering committee is made up of a cross-section of persons from the Airports Authority, of course, the ministry, but we also have representation from the Premier's office, through the Ministry of Finance. We have the Town and Country Planning Department. We have the Ministry of Natural Resources, Environment and Climate Change, and we have the Tourist Board, and we have the financial services. BVI Finance is representing the financial services industry. We also have private sector partners representing the tourism sector on the steering committee, and the AG's chambers as well.
Okay, very comprehensive. I'll take this moment now to open the lines for those that may have questions about the airport expansion project. The telephone line is 468-2787. That's 468-2787. So the phone lines are open. Or if you want to type your question in the comment section on our Facebook Live, you can go ahead and do that. Now let's talk some more about Airport Day, because we were talking about two things, Airport Day as well. So Airport Day 2024, is this event open to the public?
Well, ACI Airport Day is not wholly a public event. It's geared towards aviation and airport professionals and aviation stakeholders. So we'll be targeting the airlines, the airport staff, the persons in the tourism industry, for example, the tourist board. So even in planning the day, we partnered with the tourist board, because a major aspect of it is actually exposing and highlighting the destination itself.
Okay. And so what can persons expect from this day? Well, as an output.
So you'll see about 70 to 75 aviation and airport professionals from literally around the world descend on the beautiful Virgin Islands and discuss, like I said, those a relevant agenda, relevant from our perspective, especially to our ongoing development, the development of our business case. You will see airport operators and people who run airport concessions right here in the Caribbean and Latin America. And our people, whether they be government, airport, or tourism, would have access to those people. So a key component of that is actually the side meetings we will be having with master planners, with airport management companies, with airport financiers, and so on. So there's great benefit to it.
Okay, so how is the planning of this day going?
Well, again, a multifaceted team was put together that involved the Airports Authority and the Tourism Authority to plan the day. And the team also included a cross-section of the staff within the Airports Authority. And by all accounts, the things are going according to plan.
Yeah, anything else you want to add that's exciting about this special day?
No, as Mr. Menal pointed out, it's as aviation professionals, it's a small community. And we have similar challenges, and sometimes we don't know that person A is having the same problem as person B. So it gives us the opportunity to brainstorm, walk through problems, understand how they got through a situation, especially for the younger ones coming up in the operations department, in the security unit, etc. It gives them the opportunity to see other professionals, discuss problems with them, and figure out how they can better move our airport forward, and we can help them to move their airport forward. So really it's a very, very positive exchange of ideas and a welcome opportunity for aviation professionals on island.
Okay. I now invite the public again to call in. The telephone line is 468-2787, or write your questions in the comment section of our Facebook Live. But we will continue the conversation because we do have a lot more questions, some of them from the public. So the first one, why are we reinventing the wheel? Haven't we been through this before? And this is in regards to the expansion of the airport.
Thank you for that question. I think I mentioned it earlier. We've been here indeed, and I'm sure a person would ask, why are we back here? But as mentioned, we need to do a comprehensive business case. That is the 5-case model business case. This is best practice for such developments, and based on the protocols for financial management, it's noted that this business case should be done, and we are collating information from previous studies and updating information as necessary as possible to put it all into one document, so that when we present this document, we would know exactly how are we going to fund it, the distance of the runway, because we would have done they got the various information from airlines and and other stakeholders pertaining to where we'll be operating, where we expect planes to be flying from, the cost of the runway, the economic studies, the environmental studies, and just present a holistic document and in terms of expanding the runway.
Now, I have a question here. What are the plans to deal with the current capacity issues at the airport?
So, actually, as you asked the previous question and the minister was answering, I was just waiting for him to finish so that I could say, let's just focus on the why for a while. So that's actually a key component of the why. Why an airport development in the BVI at this point or at any point? The reality of the situation on the ground is that the facility one is a dated facility. The facility is running out of capacity. We have a situation where on the ramp, the parking apron is at capacity. You see it, for example, during the busy seasons like Christmas into New Year's. We have jets and planes spilling over. We have to turn away jets. the minister mentioned earlier, and I think Clive alluded to it, we have one of the shortest remaining runways in the BVI, in the Caribbean. You have a situation where the demand for the BVI is such that people land in other islands. I will mention no names. They land in other islands and they come over to the BVI. On average per year, it's something like 250,000 to 300,000 people coming over. Those are persons who could have otherwise landed at Beef Island if we had the capacity to facilitate them. So it's more than just a political imperative at this juncture. It's about operational safety, it's about operational efficiency, it's about managing the airport as a business and achieving the full and the true potential of the airport. So we see the vision, we see the opportunity through the tourist board, for example, and our engagement at events like Roots. You see that demand for the BVI where airlines like United, Delta, who do not have the ability to land here now because of the infrastructure restriction, have the desire to. So as we plan moving forward for the development of the airport, and even in the case of the development of the business case, that is being taken into consideration. So the forecasters, for example, will be talking to the airlines. What do you all see in the BVI? What do you all foresee in the BVI? And there are projections for the BVI that would blow the public's mind, that would blow our mind. So we have to remain focused. And at this point, is doing the business case, one aspect of it right now is about quality, just doing the right thing so that we achieve the end that we're looking to achieve. Why do it now, you asked earlier? Do it now because you're going to do it the right way this time. You're going to follow the right steps so you achieve the end that you're looking for.
And if I may, I just want to add that, the director spoke about the number of guests arriving through other means. That would be the seaport. And I know we are working on developing the Western Ferry Terminal as well. And, they did a comprehensive Green Book business case as well. And they actually factored in the airport development. So it ties into the development of the airport in terms of that development. So if you need that information is at the RDA, but we would still be able to accommodate the persons that would be coming from the USVI per se, because we are still a sailing capital of the world, and persons actually want to get on our waterways. They want to fly here. You would see that expansion is happening over there in the USVI as well, as they're making preparations to get their guest arrival and keep their guest arrival. And those persons actually, I think about 30-40% of those persons actually come to the BVI. So we still need to have a comfortable environment for those persons that would be coming through that means through the USVI.
So to be clear, when you expand the runway, you're also expanding the building itself.
So earlier, and I'll let Clive speak a little bit about this after. Earlier, I think the PS mentioned that we're moving from what is really an aerodrome reference code 3C to an aerodrome reference code 4C. That will determine the parameters on which the development will be undertaken. So this is where I hand over to Clive.
Right. So I'll start from what a 4C and a 3C aerodrome actually is. It's a way of determining the size aircraft that we're able to accommodate. In 2013, March of 2013, American Eagle left the BVI. And I walked at the airport at the time, and to see the drastic fall in passenger figures was, it was a tough time. So as we move forward, we want to develop infrastructure, develop a runway that would be able to accommodate the 737s, the Airbus A220-300s, the Airbus A320s, to make sure that even if an aircraft or an airline has to pull out for some reason, we still have a wide scope of aircraft that we can tap into that would be able to use our infrastructure. Additionally, we're looking at emerging markets in South America, markets north of the US and Canada. We have to make sure that as we continue to develop our tourism product, we're able to tap into these markets. And we don't want the tourist board to go to a trade show and airlines tell them, hey, you can't come, your runway is too short, or they have to make multiple stops that would scare people away. Mr. Menal spoke about the passenger forecast, and you asked about the expansion of the terminal building. Everything that we do is based on facts and figures. So we do a forecast, and based on the forecast, we determine how big the arrival hall has to be. And we mentioned the ACI. Persons will come there that will discuss various types of technology with us that we can use to move people through the terminal a lot quicker, to cut back on infrastructure, for example. So to tell you we're expanding by 200 square feet, or we're not expanding, we're not at that point in the business case. And that highlights really what we're doing now. We're using facts and figures to determine what we need and determine what the return on investment for for that needed infrastructure would be.
So what is a minimum runway for a 4C aerodrome?
So the minimum runway for a 4C aerodrome is 6,000 feet. Right now we're at 46. American can't leave at full capacity. Oftentimes they have to stop in San Juan to refuel, depending on wind direction, depending on temperature. If something on the aircraft isn't working, not to the point where they have to ground the aircraft, but to the point where they have to, that it will have an effect on aircraft performance, the MEL, an MEL item. We have to be able to still accommodate a flight to the mainland. We have to be able to compete. We have to be flexible. So going for something under 6,000 feet, based on the analysis that we've done, based on the feedback that we've gotten from guys overseas that fly, the Mr. Alberson Davis, the Mr. Derek Valak, guys that actually do this all the time, the Mr. Kenan Maduru, Mr. Neville Brathwaite. We speak to them, we ask them, in addition to the airlines, because they're ours. So they can give us the raw information and say, hey, if you do this, this is going to be the problem. If you do that, that's going to be the problem. That information is fed into the steering committee, and we made a decision that we cannot go for anything less than 6,000 feet. So we've spoken to the master planners and have advised them that we're looking at a 4C runway. We also, another person that I should mention as well is Mr. Lyle Flax, that we speak to, and we get information from them.
So the 4C would make it wider as well as longer.
So it would be wider. Right now we're at 30 meters wide. And when we do the 4C, we'll be at 45 meters wide.
Okay, thank you so much. And I'm assuming that these same professionals will be in attendance at Airport Day?
I don't think they can be here, but they're always a phone call away. They're always very, very willing to give honest feedback. And as fellow BV Islanders, that's important for us, that those of us that are not here and have different exposure, they've not gone, they've not left, they still give us that input that we need to develop and move forward.
That's good to hear. So as we wrap up, I will give you a chance to say any last words about Airport Day or the expansion of the airport.
Thank you. I just basically want to say it's an undeniable fact that airport is a catalyst for economic growth in any territory, any country. And seeing that the BVI is still at one of the shortest runways is it's critical that we are able to compete. Investors coming into the territory looks at, how would I get my return on my investment? It's quite difficult for passengers to get here. Those are some of the things that they have spoken about. So we need to do our part. We utilize various means of getting persons here. We saw the benefit, and we're seeing the benefit of the American Airlines flight. But we need to be able to accommodate, larger jets, more persons into the territory, and, work on our infrastructure at the same time. So, we are going through this process, and I thank the team, the steering group as well. We are committed to doing this. KPMG also, we have had multiple conversation meetings with them in terms of where we are going, what is next, what is the timeline, and hopefully we will get this done in short order so that we can then move to the next stages, whereas we're hoping to decide on what is next, how far we're going to extend, and how are we going to finance it, whether it's a PPP arrangement or local funding or whatever. That will be done in the business case, and we look forward to that. So I thank the listening and the viewing public for tuning in, and we will be back in terms of having these discussions pertaining to the airport expansion.
Thank you so much, Minister. Again, you've been tuned into Public Eye, and we have been discussing strategies for the expansion of the airport, as well as Airport Day 2024. I have been your host, Deputy Chief Information Officer, Nikita Turnbull. Thanks for tuning in.